Excuse the shitty intro, but welcome in everyone. This is my first time creating, editing, shooting, doing a voiceover, anything of that sort. Should be exciting. We're doing HotPot, long awaited. As you can see here, we're gonna get right into it. Putting some chicken broth right in instead of water. It was recommended on the back of the package, so I went and did that. In the shot here, you see we have some sesame oil and oyster sauce. We're going to start by opening the tomato packet. I bought tomato, and on the right we have Sichuan chili, I think it is. It's the spicy one, I'm not sure. But quite oily, as you can tell. The spicy has a lot of chili in it. A lot of chili. They warned me that it was really spicy, and I did not believe them. I didn't believe them for a second. An hour later, I was begging to differ. We're going to start by chopping the vegetables. I went with some ginger. We're going to chop the vegetables that go in before you actually start boiling. That way the broth can get some acquired flavors and whatnot. So I started out with some ginger here. We're going to go with the tomato for the tomato side, just to add a little bit more flavor, some more natural tomato flavor. I diced it up into fours, and honestly, tasting the tomato later, it was really soft. It had absorbed all the broth, and it was actually quite delicious. I'm going to go ahead and do some green onions here, too. I chopped about half the green onion, even into the green part. I went more bigger slices than usual. I also decided to put some carrots in there. I found some pre-chopped carrots at the store, and I said, why not? So, put those in, and they were awful good once everything was all said and done. I did want to practice using chopsticks with this, so I went ahead and did the whole thing using chopsticks and no fork. I went ahead and put about half of each of the things, and I portioned them out right. One thing I can say though is that I did add a bit too much garlic. Not garlic, my mistake. Ginger.
She's steamy.
She's awful steamy. I added a bit too much ginger, and the spicy side actually had absorbed more ginger than I thought it would. It wasn't as gingery as the tomato side. We did a little chop here though on the garlic. Threw some mushrooms down. I got those dried shiitake mushrooms. I couldn't find any fresh ones. But here we're making the sauce. I made a dipping sauce. It was quite popular among several HotPot YouTubers. It consists of green onion, cilantro, minced garlic, sesame oil, oyster sauce, and soy sauce as well. But I had asked my mother if we had soy sauce, and she said yes. And when I got home, there was none. So I have, watch this. That actually landed in the trash can. I thought that's how you broke garlic open, but no, you just slice it like a regular fucking person. But yeah, I have 3 bowls here. One has peanut butter in it that I didn't show because it was actually not very good. I was lacking soy sauce, and I think I put too much peanut butter in it. The flavors just weren't doing it for me. But I am quite the fan of cilantro. I'm quite the fan of garlic. My mince skills do need to get just a bit better. You'll be able to tell here soon that the minced garlic was just a bit too big, and the flavor was a bit too intense while I was dipping my meat. No pun intended. So here's that sesame oil. Listen to that beautiful glug. Have a listen to that. And here's some of that oyster sauce. Like I said, I was intending to dilute some of this a little bit better with soy sauce, but I figured I've seen several recipes where they do it without soy sauce, so I figured it was fine. Here we're gonna do a potato. That's a fan favorite among the HotPot people. they like the potato, and I gotta agree with them. Potato was nice and soft at the end. Here we got some kale. I didn't really know how to chop it, so I just went for it there. Wasn't too much of a big fan of the kale. It was absorbing a lot of the chili oil, and it came out really spicy. This is regular bok choy. If you're wondering why I didn't get baby bok choy, you should ask every grocery store in my area. They had absolutely zero baby bok choy. So I chose regular bok choy, cut it up a little small. It worked just fine. This was an accidental leaf lettuce that I cut. We had to start with the leaf lettuce after that. This is Napa cabbage, or I think it's vice versa, I'm not too sure, but I chose Napa cabbage and leaf lettuce for our big greens, as well as kale. But like I said, I wasn't a big fan of kale. It's thick, stocky, a little hard to cook at the end there. But here I'm going to organize them real nice on a plate, make everything look real good, easy to grab. And here's our boiling hot pot. It's looking quite beautiful. It only took a few minutes to boil, actually. It didn't take long for this to start boiling. Flavors emulsifying, water evaporating, and there's my meat. I had to cut it myself. I went to every butcher in my area, and they said the thinnest they could go was not even half of this. This was the thinnest I could get. So I decided to do it myself, and it was quite the adventure. My knife wasn't nearly as sharp as I thought it was, and the pieces of meat weren't as thin as I'd like them to be, but they're as thin as they're gonna get. Here we got some tofu. This tofu was iffy. I've never had tofu before. I'm gonna have a little munch of it right now because I've literally never tasted it in my life before. I decided to cut them real thin, little dippable pieces. And if anybody's wondering what these noises are in the background, it's my mother watching a fucking movie at full blast. First impressions of tofu, it was flavorless, relatively flavorless. I got some dumplings from Costco, put them in the microwave for a minute, let them defrost. And here's the finished product. Oh, and some udon noodles from the local world market. Looking good, you guys, looking good. And this is the middle, looking good. It was actually quite delicious. My mom was having a good time, as was I. Dumplings were good, the meat was hot. This is afterwards. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been Stone.